Hi there, it's Linda here. Thanks for joining me today as I share a few ideas for how to add foil to your cards. It certainly adds a beautiful eye-catching element, and as you will have seen, I just listed 3 ways to add foil, and the first one is using the heat embossing technique with your embossing powder and your heat tool. So here we go with the gorgeous little hearts from the Love stamp set from Mudra, stamping them out with Versamark ink, and then I'm using a clear embossing powder from Zig over the top. I also could have used white, it would have been fine for this card, and just melting all the embossing powder and then getting my rainbow foil already, a couple of little pieces that will cover those hearts up, and I will place them together with my cutting plates for my big shot, and I'll add a couple of extra layers of cardstock you see there just as an extra shim, and run it through my die cutting machine. Then it's just a matter of peeling off the rainbow foil from Deco Foil it is, and you've got the 2 foiled hearts. Along with that gorgeous gold embossed sentiment, makes for a very pretty card. And on to card number 2, and I'm using this time the Deco Foil glue pen. You could use also a Zig glue pen because you're just looking for some way to add thin lines of glue to your stamped elements, and in this case my stamped elements are these gorgeous hearts again, and I'll be adding nice fine lines of foil to them. So using a range of inks here just to cover my card front, I've got the beautiful Big Hugs sentiment again from the Love stamp set, and just working my way around the card, adding some nice bright different colours of hearts. Then when I've got all my hearts added to the card front, I will use the Deco Foil adhesive pen to add the little strips of glue. So there's the gold foil I'm using on this card, and here's the packaging. You get your Deco Foil adhesive pen in, and you get this pen working by pumping down the nib, and I'm just going to make sure it's all flowing nicely. Bit of scrap paper, pushing down on the nib there and making a few practice lines just to make sure I've got a good flow. There you can see it, and then it's a matter of just carefully adding the glue around my hearts where I would like a little gold foil accent to be. Now that I've added the little lines to the hearts, I'm adding a few dots around in between the hearts, and they turn out really beautifully too with the gold foil detail. I've now cut a piece of gold Deco Foil, just a little bit larger than my card front, and I've got a piece of baking paper there that I've folded in half. I'm just going to cut off a little bit, and there you can see my laminating machine, and it's a matter of feeding it through the laminator on a hot setting and then gently peeling off your foil, and you can see all the beautiful details that have been added. I've got a couple of little marks there that I just pointed out on the left under that blue heart, and they're not supposed to be there, so it's a great idea to use your adhesive eraser, and they just come off very easily. So that was card number 2. On to card number 3, and I'm using a product called Transfer Gel and the laminating machine again. So I'm using repositionable adhesive on the back of my black cardstock to hold it still on my craft mat, and getting my Mudra Mandala stencil into place, working out exactly where I want it to be, and securing it down on the sides with a bit of washi tape. Now for the next step, I will need the transfer gel and this palette knife or spatula here. And here's the product I'm using, Deco Foil Transfer Gel. It's similar to embossing paste if you've ever used that with your stencils, probably a little bit runnier, but very similar application. So I've got this at real time speed here, and as you can see, it's pretty slow at the moment because I've got those curved edges that I've really got to try and be careful getting just the medium onto the stencil and not over the edges, which is not the look I was going for this time. So just into the right spots there, sped it up a bit now so that you don't have to watch me doing this for 10 minutes. And spreading the transfer gel all the way over the stencil, getting a nice even coverage all the way across, and scraping a little bit of the extra back into the bottle, and then it's just a matter of carefully lifting up the stencil, and you'll see the transfer gel pattern left beneath. Now I can see there, as I said, it's a little bit of a thinner product than your normal embossing pastes, so a little bit has gone underneath the surface of the stencil. And I'm just using like an embossing stylus here, the fine end, and I'm just removing some of that extra gel that I don't need, and that seemed to do the trick. It did turn out a little bit shiny in those areas after it had been laminated, but it doesn't cling on to the foil, which is the main thing. Now it's just a matter of placing those layers inside my folded baking paper and then passing it through the laminating machine with the folded edge first, and the laminating machine has been heated up nice and warm, and I've sped this up because they are notoriously slow, as you probably know. And then just a matter of gently peeling away your foil to reveal your lovely pattern underneath. So an absolutely beautiful foiled piece there with the mandala stencil, and I also used the same stencil with the gold deco foil, and that's a beautiful element to add to a card too. So 3 gorgeous elements there that I can craft with, and I've created one card to finish with today, my 3rd card to show you how foiling can be used with beautiful Mudra craft products.